Hey, you. Let me guess. You're watching this alone, right?
Don't worry.
That's not a bad thing. Actually, it might be the best thing. It's often in those moments, when it's quiet, when nobody texts back, when there's no plan, that something deeper kicks in. You start noticing your own thoughts. Not the filtered ones you show the world. The real ones. The loud ones. The weird ones. You remember those younger days? Where being alone felt like punishment.
Like, I have to be doing something, anything. Scrolling.
Drinking. Talking. Chasing. For some people, it turned into addictions. For others, just a long string of disappointments. We were all trying to avoid one thing, ourselves. But then, somewhere along the way, life throws you into a moment where there's no one else. No distraction strong enough. No friend who truly gets it. And suddenly you're stuck. With yourself. And what happens next? You start reaching out. Not physically, but emotionally. You crave validation. You want someone to say, "You're not crazy. You're not alone. I get you." You start searching for people who feel like you, people who think like you, people who see the world the way you do. Sometimes you find a few. Other times you only find mirrors, reflections of your pain in people who are also trying to survive. And that connection doesn't last. It fades or it burns out. And again, you're alone. Even when you do find your people, it's not always what you hoped. Because no matter how many conversations you have, there's still that part of you that feels unseen, unmet, unmatched. And you start to wonder, is it me? Am I too different? Too intense? Too soft? Too honest? And slowly, a different kind of silence creeps in. Not the peaceful kind, the heavy kind. The kind that whispers, "You don't belong anywhere." That's the moment where loneliness becomes dangerous. Not because you're physically isolated, but because you start believing there's something wrong with your way of being. And here's the thing. Most of us were never taught how to be alone. Not in a healthy way. Not in a nourishing way. We were taught to fear silence, to fill space, to perform, to stay busy so we don't have to feel. So when life removes the distractions, it feels like punishment. But here's the part no one tells you. It's not the silence that hurts. It's the confrontation. When there's nothing left to distract you, you come face to face with everything you've ignored. Old wounds, unprocessed grief, versions of yourself you abandoned just to be liked. It's not just quiet, it's loud in a different way. The kind of loud that echoes inside. No music, no noise, just memory and truth. You look in the mirror and realize you've been performing for so long you don't even know what's real anymore. Not your laugh, not your goals, not even your voice. You've become so used to adapting, to fitting the room, the friend group, the trend, that you forgot what you feel like without context. And that's a strange kind of grief. Grieving the version of you that never got to just be. So yeah, being alone can break you open. Not in a dramatic way, but in a quiet, slow-burning unraveling, where you realize how far you've drifted from your own center. And if you're not ready for that truth, you'll try to run back. Back to noise. Back to people. Back to anything that makes you feel normal again. But deep down, you know, that version of normal was never really home. It was just familiar. That's why the loneliness feels so sharp. Because underneath it is awakening. And awakening isn't peaceful at first. It's messy. It's disorienting. It's losing all the false comfort just to find something real. And maybe, just maybe, that's the point of being alone. Not to punish you, but to show you everything that needs to fall away. So that what's real, what's you, can finally breathe. Let me tell you a story. Imagine someone climbing a mountain. Not for followers, not for fame, just because something inside whispered, "It's time to go higher." At first, the climb feels good. Fresh air, new energy. You're moving, doing something that matters. You feel alive. And along the way, you pass people. They cheer you on. Some walk beside you for a while. Some give advice. It feels warm, connected, supported. But the higher you go, the thinner the crowd gets. Eventually, it's just you, your backpack, your breath, and the sound of gravel under your feet. Nobody to catch you. Nobody checking in. No one left to ask, "Am I doing this right?" And that's when it hits. Your fears show up. Your doubts. All the voices you drowned in noise begin to echo louder. There's no one around to impress anymore. No one to fix you. No one to blame. It's just you and the silence of altitude. And this is the part most people avoid. Not because they're weak, but because nobody teaches us how to keep climbing when it's just us. This is where people turn back. They think, If no one's watching, what's the point? Or worse, if I fall now, will anyone notice? Because here's the truth. The higher you go, the less people there are to hold you up, and the more important it becomes that you know how to stand. This is the level where your mask doesn't help anymore, where your old tools, people-pleasing, pretending, distractions, don't work. You are forced to meet yourself, raw, unfiltered, untouched by opinion. And that can feel like a breakdown. But maybe it's just the start of clarity. Because when you keep going, step by step, breath by breath, you reach a space most people never see. Not because they can't, but because they turned around too soon. Up there, the view is clearer. Not just of the world, but of yourself. You realized you didn't climb for applause. You climbed for truth. You didn't want to be seen. You wanted to see. Now that you've faced yourself at altitude, you no longer fear the silence. You trust it. Because that version of you, the one who made it here, that's the real one. And they're stronger than you ever thought. The truth is, being alone isn't about isolation. It's about reorientation. It's where you find the voice that got buried under noise. It's where you meet the parts of you that were always waiting, patient, quiet, and real. And when you stop resisting the stillness, something begins to shift. You no longer feel abandoned. You feel returned. You realize that solitude isn't empty. It's full of everything you never had space to feel. And slowly you begin to enjoy it. Not because you've given up on people, but because you've finally found a person you can be with, in complete silence, and still feel whole, you.